Andy Reid gets his 100th career win with the Kansas City Chiefs as head coach. Let's talk about it. The Kansas City Chiefs defeat the Philadelphia Eagles by a final score of 42-30. A really wild stat that you really don't see too often in any NFL game. Both teams never punted, not even once. When asked about it, Andy Reid said that the punters don't deserve to get into the hot tub. You gotta love that Andy Reid humor. Pat Mahomes had one of the most efficient games I've ever seen from him, going 24 for 30, 278 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Also a bad interception that we're not going to talk about. That's a 9.3 average on every completion for Pat Mahomes. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had a great game, 14 carries for 102 yards. Darrell Williams also added 10 attempts for 42 yards and a touchdown on the goal line. The Eagles couldn't stop the KC rush attack. The Eagles defense couldn't really stop the Chiefs in general, but especially their run. They hit 200 yards on the dot. 5 different rushers combined to hit those 200 yards. Those people being Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Darrell Williams, Patrick Mahomes himself, Mecole Hardman, and our fullback, Mike Burton, who's picked up every single first down when we've needed him to this year. So hats off to him. He had a big legacy coming in to fill the shoes of the Sausage, and I think he's done pretty well so far. Hasn't gotten any passes like the Sausage did, but I'm sure he'll get a few here and there when it comes to the end of the season. Andy Reid has something drawn up, I know it for sure. The defense was bad. It was bad again, guys. There's not very many good things to say about it, other than the fact that whenever it came to the red zone, which I think the Chiefs have let every single team who's went to the red zone score a touchdown in the first 3 games. Terrible, terrible numbers that just, without a doubt, cannot continue if we want to win. But we did hold the Eagles to field goal attempts on 3 possessions down the red zone, so you can count that as a win. One of the touchdowns should have been taken off. Andy Reid should have challenged a fumble play in the first quarter, which he ended up not doing. The Philadelphia Eagles scored a touchdown on that. And Gene Steratore ended up coming onto the CBS broadcast and saying, yeah, Andy Reid should have challenged that, and he would have won. The ball was moving, and it was a clear recovery by the defense. It would have been 7 points taken off the board, and a lot of momentum shifted towards the Chiefs. But que sera, sera. And what about that crazy play at the end of the half? I'm talking about L'Jarius Sneed on the corner blitz, absolutely surprising Jalen Hurts, ripping out the ball. Chris Jones going to scoop it. If he just scoops it cleanly, he might be caught, but Chris Jones just bobbles it. It hits off the back of the referee, goes about 15-20 more yards. He falls on it, and he just doesn't recover it. In a sea of about 4 Chiefs, the only Eagles player manages to come up with it. Really sucks because if we get the ball right there, there's about 4 seconds left. In Harrison Butker range, about the 35-yard line, would have been about a 52-yard field goal. I think he hits it. And that's another momentum shift going into halftime when KC gets the ball coming out of halftime. Which eventually, that's the possession that Patrick Mahomes threw the bad interception. But that's 3 points taken off the board that we should have had. Chris Jones, just fall on the ball, man. Just fall on the ball. Every defensive lineman, fall on the ball. I know you want to be the hero and get the scoop and score, but please just fall on the ball. Let's take a second and congratulate Jalen Hurts on a hell of a fucking game. He went 32 for 48 with 387 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. He also led the Philadelphia Eagles in rushing with 47 yards on 8 attempts. Now that is something that Philadelphia couldn't get going. The rushing attack. Miles Sanders couldn't get going. The Chiefs stomped him out early and often, which was good for us because then Philadelphia just threw 40 quick passes and it was kind of death by 1,000 paper cuts. But whenever it came down to it, costly penalties held Philadelphia in check and took a lot of points off the board for him. Devonta Smith had a huge game, just totally destroying our secondary whenever he had the chance. With a stat line of 7 receptions for 122 yards and a touchdown. That's back-to-back games with 100 receiving yards for the rookie, who's making his claim for Rookie of the Year. And that's how Andy Reid got his 100th career win as the Kansas City Chiefs head coach.